pensions have to be built up in the member states where you work. The point is that as a citizen who is allowed to move, to circulate freely in the European Union, that this citizen gets all what he has paid in the different member states. So for me, it's more a question of how can we guarantee the rights on pensions of every European citizen.
My name's Sarah Green, and I've been working and living in France now for 20 years. Previously, I worked for about 6 or 7 years in Britain. I'm a British citizen. And now I'm beginning to think, because I'm getting to an age, I'm almost 50, where I have to start thinking about retirement and pensions. I have 3 children. I have to make sure that obviously once I'm not working anymore, I've got a decent level of income, and they're all still quite young. So I'm really beginning to wonder how I can ensure that, and whether I need to take certain steps to make sure that the pension I paid into in Britain before I came to France is accounted for and is paid to me as it should be when I do decide to retire.
Pour quelqu'un qui a travaillé dans plusieurs États membres de l'Union européenne, elle a la possibilité, par exemple, de déposer sa retraite dans son lieu de résidence, dans l'État dans lequel elle réside. Donc cette facilité est permise grâce à ces règlements européens de coordination des systèmes de sécurité sociale.
The British system is very different, in fact, from the French system, because certainly when I was working in England anyway, you had the choice between staying with the centralised state pensions contribution system or opting out into a private fund, which at the time was mostly considered to be more interesting financially. So that's what I did. I asked for that fund to be merged with my fund, my pension here in France, which apparently is very simple. And also the other thing that I guess I would have to look into, and that I suspect is where things could get complicated, is whether it's in my interest to have the 2 funds running separately, or whether it would be financially more interesting for me to have them merged. And that, I must say, I haven't looked into yet, and I suspect it would be quite a headache if I had to do that myself.
Le dispositif fonctionne bien. Il permet quand même de faciliter les démarches pour les assurés, puisque s'ils ont travaillé, par exemple, dans 3 pays de l'Union européenne, on va dire en France, en Belgique et en Allemagne, si la personne réside en Belgique, ce qu'elle fait, c'est qu'elle dépose sa demande de retraite en Belgique et charge à l'organisme de retraite belge ensuite d'échanger les informations sur les carrières qu'il a effectuées dans les 2 autres pays. Il n'a qu'une demande à faire auprès de cet organisme belge.
As far as France is concerned, again, I've spoken to my caisse, which is called the CIPAV, for independent workers. Previously, I was working as a salaried employee in journalism, so I was then working with a different caisse, and I haven't yet actually looked into making sure even that my 2 French caisses, will match up with each other. I'm assuming they will. But I must say, from a sort of a foreigner's point of view, even though I've been here 20 years, it still seem incredibly complicated.
The big point is that our labor force is shrinking. This generation has to make savings, because we can't rely on a smaller group of youngers paying for our pensions.
I didn't pay into a supplementary pension fund when I was working in England. I was still quite young then, and I kind of tended to want to keep my money to spend on going out and buying records or whatever else. So I didn't pay into a supplementary fund. But I mean, I think whatever the European institutions can do to make life easier, to really make sure that this is a single Europe, the better.